Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun became pharaoh of Egypt in 1332 BC at the age of 9. He ruled the country at a time of great conflict when battles raged between Egypt and the neighboring kingdom of Nubia. He was crowned a few years after the death of his father, Akhenaton, who had revolutionized Egyptian religion by cancelling the cults of the gods and goddesses, demoting the chief god Amun, and establishing Aton, the sun disk, as the sole god of Egypt. During his 10-year reign, Tutankhamun brought back the cults of the traditional gods and goddesses and restored the city of Thebes, whose patron god was Amun, to its prior status of capital. Nearly a decade after coming to power, the young king died under mysterious circumstances. However, he has become the best known of the Egyptian pharaohs, thanks mainly to his tomb, which was discovered on November 4th, 1922, in the Valley of the Kings by the British archaeologist Howard Carter after years of searching. This was the only royal tomb in the Valley of the Kings that was not entirely plundered prior to excavation. It sparked an ever-growing interest in Egypt and its antiquities. The tomb's antechambers were packed to the ceiling with more than 5,000 artifacts, including furniture, chariots, clothes, weapons, and 130 of the lame king's walking sticks. The entrance corridor was apparently looted soon after the burial, but the inner rooms remained sealed. The pharaohs who followed the King Tut chose to ignore his reign, as despite his work of restoring Amun, Tutankhamun was tainted by the connection to his father's religious upheavals. Within a few generations, the tomb's entrance had been clogged with stone debris, built over by workmen's huts and quite forgotten. It was only in 1922 that an Englishman called Howard Carter discovered the crypt in the Valley of the Kings. After this, Carter spent the next 2 years searching for the tomb. At last he found the tomb, which had 2 rooms. The coffin was in the second room. The coffin opened and revealed another coffin. Inside this was a third coffin, made of gold. Tutankhamun's mummified body was inside the third coffin. It had been untouched for more than 3,000 years. This was the first untouched coffin that had ever been found. The story hit the headlines in the whole world. The artifacts were taken in an exhibition all over the United States and England. But now at last his golden case, in which the mummy had been kept, has found its way back to the museum in Cairo. This was one of the first things that drew my attention on the very first day of our arrival when we visited the museum in Cairo. It was so beautiful and so lifelike that I stood and gazed at it for a long time. All the things that I had read about him when I was in college came rushing back. I felt so sorry for the young boy who had such a short life, but was happy to see that by some quirk of fate he had been immortalized, for his was the only tomb that they had discovered that had not been vandalized by the robbers. Hari Om.